On average, UK landlords are owed £1,800 in unpaid rent, and the problem is getting worse. The number of tenants failing to pay their rent has risen by nearly 20% over the last year. And increasingly, landlords are turning to the courts for help. 8 a.m. Steve Pinner and his son Ben are High Court enforcement agents. They're on their way to repossess a property in Hayes, West London.
This morning we have a writ of possession. It's against Mr. Serge Assawassa. The landlord is meeting us there with their locksmith.
Jolly good.
The landlord claims the tenant owes £14,000 in rent arrears, but the agents aren't here to collect the money. Their job is to evict him today.
It'll be here somewhere, isn't it?
No numbers on the door?
It's here. Big old double-fronted house.
Nice.
It's going to be interesting.
The landlady, Ms. Pardeep Verdi, is waiting outside the property with her brother.
OK, this is Ben.
How are you doing, right?
Have you got keys or anything?
Yeah, we've
got keys for the property, but
that's the front door and...
OK, if you give us a few minutes,
yeah.
Just let us deal with that and we'll come back and find you.
The tenant, Serge, has been living at the property for a year.
It doesn't look empty because there's cars in.
This job isn't going to be straightforward.
Curtains moving, twitching? No?
No twitchers.
Hello?
The High Court writ allows the agents to gain entry to the property.
Hello?
Even if no one answers.
I can hear noises, but...
Hello? I'll take that upstairs. There's a lot of rooms here. Hello? It's like a hotel.
And they're all locked. Locksmith's going to have a great day.
This family home is not all it appears.
It's like 40 towers.
Suddenly a man emerges from one of the bedrooms.
Hello, good morning, sir. My name's Ben. We're High Court enforcement. We're here to repossess the property.
What,
how many
today?
other... Yes, today, I'm afraid. How many people live here?
The agent's visit seems to have come as a surprise.
Is there anyone else in the rooms?
Hello. Hello there.
Someone downstairs.
It's clear that there's more than just one tenant living in the house.
My name's Steve Pinner. I'm a High Court enforcement agent. We have a writ to repossess this property.
I'm a tenant here.
And who's your landlord?
He's upstairs, I believe. His name is Sarge.
Steve quickly assesses the situation.
He's not actually the owner of the property. So he's been subletting.
Okay.
He's been subletting to you without permission.
Right.
And the owner of the obviously not paying the rent across.
He's not been paying the rent.
It would appear so. We have the authority from the High Court to repossess the property. So give you an hour to get your stuff together.
Is he upstairs?
Somebody's upstairs. I don't know what he looks like.
He's upstairs because I can hear his voice.
The man upstairs is Serge, the tenant who's been subletting.
How many people live here?
About 5 rooms.
5. And the rest here?
I'm gonna have to start, so...
You're gonna have to start, ringing around.
On properties that have been sublet, the person who originally rented the property has sublet to other people. They're paying them, but he is not paying the landlord. So they're stealing from both sides. They're stealing from the landlord by not paying him, and they're also stealing from the subtenants.
What's happening?
It's a kind of a joke.
Serge, the official tenant, must now face his subtenants.
Am I going to get the deposit back before I go?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you.
You do now realise that you've got to get your stuff together and that move, yeah?
I know that.
I'd appreciate it if you please give me my deposit before I start packing up.
Mate,
Even though the man has been paying his rent to Serge, he and all the other occupants must leave within the hour.
That's not a good day for you, I know.
Can I suggest you get dressed?
I will, but I'm just... Yeah. You get yourself sorted.
The agents must now check the rest of the house to see who else is living there.
It's a big old gaff, isn't it?
Hello? Good morning, madam. Do you want to get dressed? Madam, we're High Court enforcement. There's just rooms everywhere. 5 bedrooms at least?
Well, he's earning a few quid, isn't he? £500 a room per month. 1, 2... Well, he's not paying for that one, obviously. 3, 4, 5... Making £2.5 a month. Doesn't have to go to work, does he?
Landlady Pardeep and her brothers have come into the property. The agents must break the news that their tenant, Serge, has been letting rooms out and collecting rent without their permission.
Apparently, they've been subletting it illegally.
I can't believe this. Every single room here.
Amount of stress this man's
He's got
caused
to
us.
go.
He's got to go.
Legally, Serge must leave today, but the landlords have to let him back into the house at a later date to collect his possessions.
He is going to go outside the door, but they are going to have to come back and collect their stuff.
You know, it was a
Yeah.
15 grand.
Of course, I know
So
that.
you can understand.
This is not fair.
Serge has overheard the landlord's conversation.
We will leave, but we will
wait,
not
the next
move our
hour.
stuff today.
You will leave
can
today.
do that to me.
will leave today.
But we
You
will
will
not.
leave
We
today.
will not. We will leave today,
Yes,
but
you
we will
will.
not
In the next
move our
hour.
stuff today. Shut
Oi,
your
oi.
mouth.
I don't need to shut it, sir.
Look at him. Look at him. You're gonna shut your mouth.
You need to be packing.
The agents must act quickly to calm the situation.
Serge.
If you talk to me like that
Serge.
again,
Serge.
What started as a simple repossession is threatening to spiral out of control.
Calm down.
let him talk again to me
Stop.
like that. I will smash his head.
Wow.
Hayes, West London. High Court enforcement agents, Steve and Ben, were carrying out a repossession.
Hello? Hello?
They had a writ to evict tenant Serge Asawase,
It's like a hotel.
but they discovered numerous other people living at the property.
I'm a tenant here.
And who's your landlord?
He's upstairs.
He's not actually the owner of the property.
Serge, the tenant, was subletting the house and not passing the rent on to the landlord. He now owes £14,000.
Sarge, I'd appreciate if you please give me my deposit before I start packing up.
Mate,
The landlord wanted him and all his belongings gone today,
Amount of stress this man's
He's got
caused
to go.
us. He's got to go.
and tempers flared.
We will leave today,
Yes,
but
you
we will
will.
not
In the next
move our
hour.
stuff today.
Calm down.
Let him talk again to me
Stop.
like that. I will smash his head.
Wow.
Now the agents must use all their negotiating skills to get this challenging eviction back on track.
How you get on?
I can't move all my stuff today.
How much
I
stuff
didn't
have you
get
got?
I didn't get a notice. It's
You
not
won't get any
happening.
notice. You've had
It's
notices.
not happening. You can say whatever you want.
You can have... I've not finished.
You
The
said
landlord
that-
is owed £14,000 apparently.
He's not all that. We were gonna pay him. He refused to take our money and came to an agreement and said we should not pay him. We should just leave. Listen,
Okay.
we
Okay,
we
fair
had
enough.
the money to pay. He wasn't doing any repairs.
Okay.
I know what we did. Everyone in here knows that we're gonna be moving out of this house around December, not today.
Serge claims the landlords had agreed to let him keep the £14,000 in outstanding rent and let him move out in a month.
You need to go back to the landlord and tell him that these people, you had an agreement with them and you didn't, you've gone.
Okay.
So they've played
Let me-
us.
But the landlord's brother denies Serge's
We've
claims.
had no negotiations with him. No.
Okay.
Don't talk nonsense. We want you out.
Let's
We
have-
want you out with your stuff. We want you out.
Don't you dare talk to me like that. Yes, but you saw it, right?
Calm down.
Good. If he talks to me again like that,
I'm not shouting, so please don't shout at me.
I'm not shouting
No.
at you. I said, tell that
Serge,
guy.
I'm trying to talk to you.
Now it's upset me because you.
I'm
let
not here.
that guy.
I'm not here to take sides.
Good. Let him not come upstairs and talk to me like
Look,
that.
calm down.
When people try to be reasonable, and then he comes up and he's like,
Look,
we're not
look.
gonna give you no time, blah, 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 this, that. What does he think? This England, I'm still gonna get the time at this. I'll leave this stuff in here, and I'll come back and I will get my stuff.
Serge.
Serge must leave today, but he's adamant that he won't take all his belongings with him, as it's his legal right to return at a later date to collect them. Ben tries to negotiate a solution with the landlord.
By us telling him he's got to get all his stuff out now, it's causing a problem. So I would suggest letting him come back with, like the rest of them, to get their stuff. What we'll do is when they arrange a day, all the tenants...
In one time?
One time.
Okay.
Okay, let me just go back in.
Ben has managed to get the landlords on side.
Okay, I've spoken with the landlord and lady.
Yeah.
They have agreed to let you store your stuff here for the few days like you've asked. Okay?
Right.
Do not take this kindness as weakness, okay?
No, it's not.
I'm going update Pardy.
Just as the eviction seems to be back on track,
You are Patrick?
one of Serge's subtenants arrives home, and he's in for a shock.
I paid my rent,
I understand that.
you know, and
I understand.
What actually happens here? You know, what's happened here? He didn't pay or what?
He didn't pay.
He wants to know why he's being evicted when he's always paid rent to Serge.
This is just ridiculous. You don't pay the rent. He said you don't pay the rent. You know what I mean? That means what is the
You told me.
truth then?
I don't know.
Listen. Do you know the real story?
Yes,
You-
you've
you know-
told me. You've told me.
Good, thank you. So,
What about if I'm 100 miles away,
Patrick, listen, I told you that we were gonna move in December, right?
Yeah, but that's
No,
not the
it's-
point.
so-
You know what I mean?
No.
What? I will be homeless or what? You know
You're
what
not,
I mean?
You're not gonna be homeless.
You don't
Yeah,
know.
well-
I don't be homeless because I haven't had accommodation already 2 months. You know what I mean?
The agents have been in the house for almost an hour and a half. The first subtenants are finally leaving.
Yeah, good. Might be old, but I'm good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm just sorry that you're in the position, and I hope today gets better for you.
Yeah. I was not even. No one. I think no one was aware.
And that's the sad part of it.
He signed contracts with everyone, taking deposits. You know, he's done things the right way. So obviously, no one had any doubts about anything.
But wish you good luck for
Thank
everything.
you.
Finally, 2 hours after the agent's arrival, Serge leaves the property. But despite subletting the house and owing £14,000 in rent, he still feels he's been wronged by the landlords.
Looking at it from a point of view of others, they're thinking, okay, he's gone away with 14 grand worth of rent, right? But the whole of this eviction process is a painful process, right? I had a 3 years agreement on this house, which has come short because of the problems I encountered. I'm the one that's been treated in an unfair manner. If they're throwing me out, probably that 14 grand is some kind of compensation, don't you think? I'm using it to get accommodation now.
Ben hears that Serge already has a plan.
He's got another property. You know that? He's got another property. And he's going to do the exact same thing over and over again.
You'll be there in 6 months.
The family will have to decide whether to pursue Serge for the £14,000 he owes. But for now, the agent's work is done.